Hello all you world shakers. Uncle Dean here. Straight to the point. What we have here is a Fisher and Paykel type 240 volt washing machine dryer motor. Anyway, I've rewired it and turned it into a 12 phase alternator. 12 phase. That's 4 sets of 3. And each of those 3 have 3, so 9 coils per phase. Anyway, now what I have is I have a 3-phase rectifier per set of 3 coils, for the 3-phase. So I have 4 3-phase rectifiers on here. 2 of them are tied in parallel. Or excuse me, 2 of them are tied in series with each other, and these other 2 are tied in series to each other. Then they are tied parallel. The output is tied parallel with the other 2, and it's run out to the batteries. Right here we have a hoverboard motor. That's the motor that's going to drive it. It's also an alternator. It's a modified hoverboard motor that's motor alternator in one. Anyway, it's putting out, and we've got a 3-phase rectifier. It's a green light from a wind powered system. It's 24 or 12 volt, charge either one. Anyway, straight to the point, here we go. What we have here, I've got super capacitors. I'm going to turn on the light so you guys can see where we're at here. Okay, I've got 3 banks of super capacitors in there. You can look at the wires and see that that's all they do is go there, and then they hook up and they come out of the box, and they go one goes right down there to the ground, and the other one goes down to the battery bank. I've got a 36 volt system altogether, 2 12 volt car batteries, and they're all hooked in series with each other. Okay, now that's the output. I've got right now we have 19.51 volts, 52 volts in the whole system, and 9.25 volts on the bigger battery. I don't have another tester to put on the other battery, but they're both looped together, and that motor, hoverboard motor, is feeding off of both of them 12 volt batteries, but it is not feeding off of the capacitor bank. So the hoverboard motor is running off 24 volts and charging 36 volt system. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn it on. Give it a hand to start. Get the light here set up so that you guys can see what it's doing. Alright, here's our battery bank. It's charging, slow charge. This is the whole system all together. Now I'm going to speed it up a little bit. And I can go ahead a lot faster with this thing, but there's no need. It's a low RPM alternator because it has 12 phases. Right? That's 12 sets of 3. As you can see, it's charging. Now it's charging right off of that that hoverboard motor as well as those the 12-pole alternator. Now I seen a guy talking on YouTube about why can't they transmit power by higher phases, by doubling instead of 3-phase going 6-phase, 8-phase, 10, 12, whatever works. Well, it got to me to thinking, why can't we rewire our generators or rewire our alternators? Why stick to the plan that they put and the cage they put us in? This low RPM 12-phase alternator, I mean, it's putting out good amps. Look at that. When I first fired this up, it was putting out over, let's say it was a 1.2 amp or something like that, 1.3. So it has capability of taking off with low voltage in the battery system and coming in and charging everything up. Now I need to be able to put myself in a charge control, because you can see if I let it go wild, or if I let it go, that it's going to do what it wants to do. But now I can take and slow that motor down. Once this battery gets up over 13, then I can just slow that motor down and it'll hold that voltage while the rest of the system is charging. I'll charge up them super capacitors. I'm going to do that right now. We'll slow it down and see if we can get it to slow the charge down here anyway. I think that's about where we're on it, unless it's losing out. We're losing, so we got to go a little bit faster. I'm going to split the difference. I think that'll be good right there. And a fine line. Just getting in the way there. There we go. 2260. Looks like it slowed the whole system down. Let's speed up a little bit. There we go. And she's charging again. And batteries charges just fluctuating between the 20s and 30s, I do believe, but see, this thing got a mind of its own. It puts out a heck of a good charge. I do believe that it'll charge a whole lot more batteries in one pop. These are all I had right now to do this test. And it proved to me what I wanted to know, that these 12-phase alternators are very capable of putting out high charge with good amps at a low RPM. And the hoverboard motor runs just fine, stays nice and cool. I've not tried it without the hoverboard motor. I just incorporated it in because it seemed like a thing to do, but one of these days I'll do that and see if how the alternator itself by itself puts out with this battery and supercapacitor configuration, which I've not tried that way yet. But we can raise that charge up pretty good, but I don't want to run it up too awful high and damage one of them batteries. As you can see, I'm going to have to shut it down here in a minute because she's slowly climbing, whether you like it or not. Anyway, we'll sit here for a second, let you see what the charge is. As you can see, it's holding the charge, and supercapacitors are even throwing some voltage into the batteries. They're still climbing up, see? Everything will settle down when these batteries will be charged up higher. That's why I gotta be careful of how much charge I put into them, because it seems to be just shoving the voltage right into these things. Then I'll put a couple of little electric motors on, and run the batteries down, and then I can run it and charge it back up again. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, people. Send me some messages. Tell me what you think. Spread the word. Please give me some likes on the video. I'll be showing, if you guys really want to know, I'll show you how to wire one of these things. But it's really not that difficult for anybody that's done any kind of modification on one of these motors. You just got to think it through. And I've got a little schematic. This is the wiring diagram. If it'll do you any good, it's pretty much the way I've got it set. Now, I ain't going to tell you much, I guess. Can't hardly read it with this camera, maybe. Here, I'll get a little closer. Anyway, there's the batteries, there's the capacitors. Now, the supercapacitors at this moment are on the tail end. Power's coming into the batteries first. That's the only difference in this wiring diagram. Is that the supercapacitors are on the tail end of the charge system. 36 volts. Anyway, tell me what you think, people. This is Uncle Dean. Telling you where there's a will, there's a way. Show some interest, we'll show you the way. Have a good one.